We have Archana Mishra with us with over 14 years of diverse HR experience. Archana is a dedicated HR business partner at Free Charge. She specializes in HR systems, employee engagement, performance management, and operations. And she has a proven track record of fostering a strong organizational culture and implementing impactful HR processes. Welcome, Archana. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the introduction.
Okay, so just setting up the context for you, we've done a little bit of introductions. I've also taken our audience through how the next 45 minutes will look like. So yeah, I'm moving on to now starting with our first segment, which is how employees are perceiving benefits that are provided to them. I want to just put in some context to the theme. Today's workforce is seeing benefits as a reflection of how organization values them. When a 25-year-old software developer gets the same rigid health insurance as a 45-year-old supervisor who has 3 kids, there are some questions in their mind. So the perception gap is costing us. Poor benefits perception directly correlates with a higher attrition rate. I think you all would agree. So I want to ask you all a question. Can you share some examples of where employee feedback completely surprised you about how they are perceiving the benefits and how did that change your approach? Purnima, would you like to take it up? We can start with you.
Sure, thank you. So, yes, as you rightly mentioned, there is a lot of perception that literally have changed how we deal with the benefits for employees today in the organizations. So, I think, see, rather, I would say the example that you have mentioned, there's a difference between the 25-year-old software engineer and a 45-year-old supervisor. So, me from the current organization, I can mention, right? So, we give the same sort of benefit all across the board. But to an extent, I can mention that the current generation is also understanding the importance of benefits, how they perceive it. It's not majorly about the diverse factor that they're thinking about, but the utilization of the benefits. That is really making a key role. And the way how you approach your employees and how you give them a glimpse and understanding of the benefits that are provided to them. It is really like suddenly a person walks into your desk, right, and asks me like, Purnima, what do we do about this? Or how do you do about this? So I have something to do. How can I approach about it? So how you deal and the personal connect that you have with the candidate and not just always the the technology driven, right? So this is where at least at our organization and the past experiences of mine plays really important role for me, and it has literally made a lot of transformation in terms of how the benefits or the employee benefits, I would say, like, right, have really evolved a lot. So I think the perception of the age factor is not the thing, but how they are taking it and how you're explaining them is also playing a real important role in this entire scene.
Sure. Priyanka, can I ask you something? What percentage of your benefits budget goes unused because employees don't know about it? Do you want to share some light there?
Yeah, that's actually a very interesting question. And to start off with, generational difference is there everywhere, and that's something we have to address and look at when we planning any kind of a benefit that we provide to our employees. So what might be relevant or important to a Gen Z employee might not be relevant and important to a baby boomer or a Gen X or a millennial. So surveys do really help. and that's something we definitely consider, and building that kind of trust and transparency with the employees, that all the points that they have shared, what works for them, what doesn't work for them, and that's something we're definitely considering, and curating something for them which is more specific to their needs, which can kind of cover all different types of generations, their requirements. That will definitely help. And moving to your question on the budget, so approximately, I would say 60 to 50% is unused year on year when it comes to our annual health checkup or the other EAP programs that we do. But yes, like GMC, GPA, that is totally used wherever possible. That gets used up because you kind of make sure that you have it during your emergency time. So we don't have a question of not using our budget in our insurance bit, but moving to other wellness activities that is a little bit untouched for some extent. So what we try to do, or a mitigation that we plan from our organization level, is to create awareness, run a lot of awareness programs, keep sending reminders, keep sending surveys which will speak about the different programs that we have, and keep collecting a lot of feedbacks, what is working, not working, and again get back to them with those responses to tell, okay, now we've heard what is working well for you, so here's something that we have planned again, so you can revisit it and take an opportunity to make use of this benefit. Now we understood this is not working for you. Okay, so now we kind of taking that a little bit slow, and we will kind of keep reviewing it on a quarterly basis, and then see if we would still want to continue that benefit in the same way that we're continuing to do it in the same way that we are doing right now, or make some tweaks here and there and make some changes which will best fit the larger audience.
All right, Archana, I have a question for you. Uh, I started with just giving some context on diverse age groups of people in a workplace. How are you solving for the personalization challenge without breaking your bank, without exploding the benefits budget? For example, a 25-year-old may want a gym membership, or a 45-year-old parent would also want an annual health checkup, or a pediatric care, or an older care, older parent care. So, how are you solving or looking at providing that personalization in your workforce at free charge?
Thank you. That's another interesting question. So, I would like to share the experience which we are following in my current organization. So, as far as wellness benefits are concerned, so we have not mandated all sort of wellness benefit for everybody org wide. It's a kind of a basket which we have created, right? So, there is a pool of, I would say that there are a couple of options which we have created, a basket wherein employees can pick and choose the activity or the benefit which suits their requirement best. So, for an example, if I talk about the daycare requirement, right? So we have in-house, daycare facility wherein we have a tie-up with a vendor and we provide the daycare services pan India. And as far as this daycare benefit is concerned, so this is primarily applicable for millennials, right? And people, those who have kids. However, if I talk about Gen Zs and the baby boomers, right, it is irrelevant for them, right? So this is there in the basket list of benefits for us. However, not necessarily everybody is going to utilize it. Similarly, coming to the gym membership, right? Gym membership is an option which is primarily preferred by Gen Zs and few millennials. And folks, those who are above 45 years of age may not, prefer going for a gym membership. For them, it's like, okay, it's not that priority, right? So that's another way of it. The another aspect which we focus a lot, as Priyanka also mentioned, is about the reiteration of the communication about the benefits which you have within the organization. I think that plays very crucial role, because in my interaction and in my 14 years of career, what I have observed is that unless or until you don't talk about organization policies and benefits on a periodic basis, employees, they don't register it with them. This comes as and when needed, right? So as far as medical benefits are concerned, our GPA, GMC, or GTL, these benefits only comes in picture when they actually need it. Otherwise, they don't bother about it. But yeah, in terms of medical insurance policy, I would say that employees, irrespective of their generation, they're concerned about the parental insurance, right? That is something which they categorically come to you and ask you, because that is something in today's era, managing it outside the organization is very expensive. That's one aspect of it. And the second aspect of it, that you don't get the pre-existing diseases covered for your parents. So parental benefit insurance is something which, irrespective of the which generation era you comes in, it's there. Other than that, the communication plays a very crucial role. Doesn't matter how good benefits you have in your basket, unless or until you are not going to talk about it and reiterate with your people, they don't land it well and have a good impact on people.
Very true. Uh, Aditya, I just maybe you can add more on this. Archana touched upon a point about improving the communication to build on the trust and to keep educating people and employees about the benefits. My question to you is, if you are in HR and you want to choose between adding more benefits or improving the communication about existing one, which one would you pick and why?
Okay, that's an easy one. It's a binary question. So I think based on sort of the feedback we hear, and we speak to a few hundred HRs every month, definitely the core around communication, accessibility, simplicity of communication of benefits still remains a bedrock, without which, no matter what benefit you add, it's not really going to make an impact to employee well-being. So I think the answer is easy. If you have to focus your energies, it's much better to get much better job done of what you have, rather than run after the newest shiny new thing and not really have very good adoption or understanding of what the organization is doing for you. And yeah, I think once you have that bedrock, then actually the effectiveness of anything new you add will automatically also multiply. So I think that choice is fairly simple, just to establish a good communication platform with employees.
Also, there's so many questions in HR's mind about if we are trying to personalize, it will definitely be costly. It will definitely overload me with a lot of operational challenges. Can you help us with how, in your experience, we have created a solution to this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a common objection to adding anything to the benefits program. We typically hear three kinds of things, right? We hear about worry about the cost. We hear about worry about how many people will actually want it or not, and we hear about the operational complexity, right? Um, these are all very fair concerns, I believe. We hear about them from a lot of HR professionals. And in a nutshell, I would say, with the way technology is fairly sophisticated and easy to deploy these days, these challenges are more or less very solvable with technology. Whether it is about helping employees guide them through choosing benefits, like Archana mentioned, from a basket, or it is about removing that operational complexity now, because systems can talk to each other, settlement, reconciliation, payments, many of these things can be fairly automated. So I think, with the kind of technology available, a lot of these challenges should not be big issues if any HR wants to expand into new kinds of benefits. I think the important challenge remains truly understanding what can help an employee improve their well-being, understanding what support they will need through the journey, and HRs can actually focus on that strategically, like how to communicate, how to support people. The operational challenges are relatively very solvable.
All right. I want to do a quick poll right here just to understand what our audience thinks about it. I'm launching our first poll. So we are asking a question here called, what's your biggest disconnect between benefits package and employees experience? There's also an option to choose all of the above. Giving it another 10 seconds. There is a tie between option A and option C.
I think you need to count all of the above as well.
Yeah, now I can see option E as well. Okay. So, oh, okay. Still people are answering. Two more seconds. Okay.
As we're doing that, Vikasha, before you summarize the results, if I could take maybe 30 seconds and ask either Priyanka, Purnima, or Archana, as you know, we are industry players, so we hear about a lot of new kinds of innovative benefits coming up. A lot of younger employees very keen to measure everything from their blood results to their glucose to their weight every day and nutrition, macros, this, that. There's a lot of solutions around lifestyle management, protein intake, etc. Just wanted to ask if any of those kind of things has even come up as an employee-employer expectation in any of the conversations they've had with their teams. Are employees asking for or valuing support in terms of many of these new age, new age kind of fitness, wellness, and measurement kind of solutions that have started coming in the market?
Definitely yes to that question. So if I have to answer, definitely we though think a lot before choosing any benefit plan, considering the organization and the age group that we have in. So we kind of see at MPL, at least I can say that there are a lot of benefits which are chosen based on the age group and the requirement that we see, right? So now that the age group that we see, we call the young age company this is. So there are a lot of employees that come up say that, we need the advance, like, the diet is one of the major thing, like the protein intake, as you said, right? So they also mention that the gym membership is one of the most asked, that I can at least mention it here. The most asked, if I have to say, yes, the gym membership. And does it include yoga classes for the seniors? Like, so I think Priyanka was mentioning sometime back about this. So we can cover gym, but not everyone could be interested, right? So only the Gen Zs would be preferred to go and have that benefit utilized. But what about the other scale? And the others come out saying, Purnima, why don't we try yoga? Can we have that as a benefit point? Along with that, there are a lot of wellness sessions that they're also seeking, that they wanted to have it as part of the benefit plan that we wanted. Yeah.
I would like to echo with Purnima's thoughts on that on a lighter note. Protein intake is become the key word now. So any gym active human being, right? All that they're concerned about is how much of protein I'm taking a day, and how is my organization supporting me to get that or meet that goal. So we did get a lot of requests from our employees. How can this kind of be addressed? And yes, of course, we had to introduce protein intake in our food meal options as well. And alongside, we also introduced our wellness app, which will kind of help them add all their calorie intakes, protein intakes, their daily goals of, drinking 8 glasses of water or 2-3 liters of water based on their age, your weight and other things. But yes, protein intake is one of the most asked,
Yeah, along with that, I
along with the
think,
gym.
so along with that, I think, Priyanka, to add the stepathon, I think
Yeah,
that is one more thing, like how much intake I take, but how much am I burning? That is
correct.
also something which has become the most asked thing that we are seeing these days.
Yeah, just adding on the points shared by Purnima and Priyanka. So, as far as protein intake is concerned, so surprisingly, I've not heard from my set of people in my organization. But Stepathon is, as far as this particular activity is concerned, so we conduct minimum two Stepathon within the organization, and this is like most liked activity by entire organization, irrespective of their age group. So yeah, for that there is a application in place which has been provided by our health insurance partner itself. So that application, in particular, this feature is the most used feature, I would say that. Yeah.
That really, I don't know how much I mean, the calories burn counts up by the app, but literally burns a lot of wishes that the employees wanted. They're like, I did
Right.
this today. So if there is a reward session that which we've introduced for this, it would be like going up, everyone would be fighting for that in that matter of stepathon.
Aditya, you wanted to add something here?
No, thank you. We can maybe summarize the poll findings and move on to the next one.
So yeah, the maximum results answers that we got were all of the above. Basically, people are not educated enough. We are not communicating enough about our benefits. They don't match the needs of the employees. So yeah, we've already taken it up. We've already uh, spoken about the problem. Now moving on, I think the segment 2 is where we try to solve it, which is where we speak about how are we rethinking your role and an HR's role in employee well-being. Today, a modern HR is a part data scientist, a part empathy officer, a part business strategist. Uh, and how are but our challenge is basically how do we balance being the employee's advocate while also driving hard business outcomes. The challenge comes where do we actually draw the line, where do we actually think about us as also humans, and not let it all burn ourselves out. So I want to ask you all, what is the biggest change that you have seen in how your role is expected to support employee well-being over maybe the last 5 years, 10 years, 3 years in your experience or so? Priyanka, you want to start here?
Sure, let me take a stab at that. So in my experience, focusing on mental health came into picture, I think, in last 5 years and more predominantly in last 2, 3 years, where we hear a lot of companies org level talking about mental health, um, different kind of awareness on mental health, and we also have a few specific months known for mental health and wellness, right? In few countries they follow May, in few countries they also consider October. So the entire month of October we do a series of events promoting mental health. I think this awareness, trying to engage employees on mental health awareness, trying to make sure that they use the kind of benefits that they're given on mental health aspect, is a challenge, because sometimes they feel it's not really for me until and unless they really do, or they try to engage themselves in a webinar or a session or a one-on-one talk with a psychiatrist or a psychologist. They don't really realize and analyze the importance of it. But that's not for somebody who's very specifically, facing a challenge, but that's for everybody. I think at some point in your life, it could be your personal life, it could be your professional life, mental health awareness and just having a refresher there is quite important. So focusing on mental health and making sure that employees also understand the importance of it is being quite a challenging task, and I see that trend going on in last 3 years. And alongside, the other aspect that I have been looking very closely at is the remote and flexibility work which came into the picture after COVID-19. There were a lot of organizations who also had this kind of flexibility much, much before COVID kicked in. But especially after COVID-19 came into the picture, employees at some point feel like this is a need. It's a need. It's not like a benefit also. Sometimes they're like, Arey, like I don't have to come to office all 5 days. I have to be allowed to work from home. I should have some flexibility. I'm not supposed to be like be there at office all the 8 hours or 9 hours. So they really expect a kind of flexibility in their work timings and the style of work that they do. But that's not really feasible or possible across all the industries, across all the roles. So the understanding there is a little lacking. But I think, sure, most of the organizations take very preventive measures to make sure that, they set up right expectations, that you are at this level and you're asked to come to office for this reason. So you have more collaboration, you have more connection with your team, your manager, and it's easier to get work things done, right? Like, if you have to do everything virtually, you'll have to wait for the other person to come online, be available. But whereas when you're at office, just walk up to somebody's desk and get that done in minutes. So there are benefits, there are pros and cons of both. I think understanding with time, with requirement, and addressing these issues will really help. But this is a trend I definitely see in the last couple of years.
Archana, Purnima, you want to add here?
Yeah, sure. So I would love to add. So I think basically this mental wellness and mental well-being became prominent after COVID-19, right? Before that, nobody used to talk about mental well-being or mental wellness or anxiety. This all has came into picture post COVID-19. So there are pros and cons to it. I think COVID-19 has given this understanding and break that mindset that work cannot be done from home, right? So that is something which is given. Work from home culture in India specifically is given because of this pandemic. Now, coming to the mental wellness, how HR is, playing the role and the challenges which we are facing here. So, Pikansha, what I feel is that the most challenging aspect for HR in managing the mental wellness or mental well-being initiative in the organization is to creating the allies in the team and getting the buy-in from the managers, right? No matter what, how good initiatives, in-house programs, or external benefits you come across, unless or until you don't have a strong, buying from your leadership and you have not created allies within the organization who support you, you do not have a team of few senior folks within the organization, it becomes challenging for HR to drive it. So I'll take an example. So within my organization, we have created a program which wherein what we have done is we have curated a certification program for few selected people, and it's a absolutely voluntary program wherein individuals, those who have that zeal or the willingness to help others and provide some sort of a motivational talk or a counseling sort of a thing. We've got the professional certification done for few selected folks, those who voluntarily come to us, and now they are the walking, I would say that walking counselor on the floor, wherein employee can walk up to them, they can talk about their hurt out, the any conversation with respect to work related, personal, and we've trained them to keep all the discussions confidential. These discussions are not to be meant to be shared with HR also. So I think that initiative is something which is actually helping us in driving the mental wellness initiatives within the organization. Why it becomes easy? Because it is coming from the people within the group, right? It is not just HR agenda per se. When any initiative is driven from the from that group itself, it becomes easier for us to execute, or the success of that initiative becomes little on the higher side. So I think this is one approach which we are following to resolve this, or I would not resolve, I would say that to increase the adaptability about mental well-being and mental wellness, how important it is for the employees and for the organization, and eventually for the productivity for the company.
Archana, just following up with a question for Purnima here. You spoke about that it was a challenge that you tried to tackle in. Purnima, I have a question for you. Was there any other challenge or in convincing your leadership team where you wanted a wellness initiative to be implemented in your company or an organization or with a certain set of employee cohort? And how did you win that battle? How did you get to convincing them?
An interesting question involving the leadership. So yes, I can mention this again. Convincing leadership before COVID was really tough. Like no matter what, how much you put in an effort, it's like the manager can talk to the employee, the reportee directly and sort it out. That was the perception before. But after that, literally everyone in all the organizations have understood the importance of how to deal with it. It's not just that you talk and get it sorted, right? So we have also done the same thing, like rightly mentioned by Archana. We do have in-house allies where they talk to the employees. It's not just that when an employee is in a pain or is going through something, they reach out and talk. It's a connect that we do on a regular basis. Every month our allies get in touch with the employees. Have It's not just a formal talk. Just go near the water, right? Like you just go have a word with them, or just chat with them, understand what are they going through, how is the work culture going through, is there any problem that they're going through. So in my experience, rather than getting a third party involvement in the well-being, the personal connect that which we have to maintain really played a major role. How we took it, and literally the in this all exercise, we also have involved our leadership members to get in touch and understand how this is going through. This made us really, make it easy for us to get the approvals into get in this exercise or implementing this wellness sessions in the organization. So every month we do organize one or the other sessions, and every month we have a personal connect with the allies directly with the employees. And also, see, it also cannot be all the time that the employee, whatever the employee speaks out, is the truth, source of truth for us, right? So it was always the two-way talking. You check with the employee, what is the employee going through. If it is personal, because of the work there is some stress, then how to address it. And if it is the managerial issues, then how do we address it. So all these also involves the well-being and the wellness of the employees, and allies really play a crucial role for us here. The allies literally helped us in getting all the approvals in place so easy, I would say. Post COVID, right? Post COVID-19. Before that, no one really understood the pain of this.
Sure. Turning the tables here, Aditya, you've been in a lot of leadership roles. How have you seen the leadership supporting wellness initiatives? Is it always data driven? Is it always tool driven or number driven? Or is it also more story driven and more empathy based?
Um, I've seen kind of mix of both, Pinkasha. Before the session, I was mentioning to a couple of the panelists, the very first job I joined was with Unilever in back in 2005, and I was a young manager managing a team of 15 salespeople in central UP. One of my KPIs was the BMI of my team, and I had to have a conversation with them at least once a quarter about their weight, because BMI is basically just weight and height together, right? And saying what they're doing to reduce their weight. Um, Very interesting, very progressive, I would imagine at that point in time. And today might be very sensitive to start going to employees and saying you're overweight and you have to do something to cut it down. But I still think back upon that as one of my earliest experiences with structured intervention by an employer into managing the health or well-being outcome. And BMI was really considered to be the best indicator of health outcomes at that point in time. So yeah, I mean, there's a wide spectrum across the companies I worked with, but I believe Unilever, Accenture, or PwC, like the global firms with scale, have developed a fair degree of maturity and expertise in identifying sort of risks and managing them in a structured way, while most of our smaller younger companies are probably still making it up as they're going along or learning, right? um, but I would add one small thing that I've observed recently. Like if we quickly look at the data, right? Heart health, metabolic disorders, mental wellness, probably road safety, right? These are probably the 4 or 5 things which are impacting employee health the most. Probably ergonomics is there as the fifth one, right? I mean, heart health incidents have been doubling every decade. like literally doubling, which is ridiculous. So one trend I have noticed from the HR perspective is people are becoming experts in therapies around this, because your insurance plan will cover some things, or you want to add on something. So I've had HR folks who tried to become experts in robotic surgery for a week before figuring out, hey, how important is this in my benefits program, etc. So sensitivity and expertise, I think both are a bit of challenge for HR to sort of grow as some of this profile of the wellness challenges is changing. That's kind of one add-on observation there.
All right. I think we've spoken about how the role of HR have transformed, but I feel that transformation without measurement could be termed as an slightly expensive experimentation, right? So we want to now dive into numbers, some metrics. How are we measuring the impact and ROI on the employee well-being? Would you all would like to just throw in some metrics that you are currently measuring or would like to measure? It could be also on an individual level or an org level that you are looking at. I want to start with Purnima.
Sure. Uh, in terms of ROI that you mentioned, so I think GMC, you cannot count on that. It is the most, like, you use that most thing on the GMC bit. But on the wellness and well-being bit, if you have to mention, I think the poll that you mentioned sometime back, there is a lot of problem around the awareness that the employees have about their benefits in, right? So this is the major click. Right now, if I have to give you the metrics, approximately 50% is utilization is happening. But the other 50%, where is it going? Like, so right now in our organization, what we have done from the last 2 years is, before that there is like, yes, exactly 50% of utilization was happening. But when I noticed that this is purely due to lack of awareness that the employees are not having, so we have introduced this monthly sessions of wellness, and also every quarter we do a check-ins with employees. Though, apart from the vendor, the in-house check-ins happens monthly, but the third party that which we have panel with does a quarterly check-ins, right? We keep on sending one or the other activities, the engagement activities. This is where the participation comes in for us now. Now, at least if I have to answer from 50, we are good at least 80. So we can't pull in everyone, go do this, go do that. But we do mention it as part of the onboarding itself, right? When you join itself, I give you a glimpse of what all benefits you have in picture that you can utilize as a new joiner throughout your tenure here. This really played a very important role. Like before this, we do not have this detailed walk through of any benefits that employees have. But now what we are doing, every new joiner will have a session. Along with that, all the active employees also, every quarter they do have a brush up on what are the benefits that we have in, and a quick sort of browsers or screening throughout the office with all the benefits that you have in. So makes them remind, keep inform them, these are the benefits that you have utilized. And yes, regarding the mental wellness, so there is a wrong perception across the orgs that I've seen is when you say it's a mental wellness, people literally take it in a different way. So we have to make them understand that this is literally not only for the people who have just got a breakdown, right? Or who's really stressed out. So you can just go walk in and check what is it. Have an understanding on how it works. So when we did this awareness session, there is a huge participation that I see. So later, I think at least in our organization, people understood that mental wellness is literally not the way they are thinking. The perception changed, the way they were thinking changed. Now the utilization of all the wellness benefits is, at least I would not literally, I would not say 100%, but at least at a benchmark of 75 to 80, I'm like, okay, happy HR that I can make my employees utilize the benefits that are available for them to use. Of course, there are a lot of requests that comes in post utilization, like, I want an extra benefit, like the new age benefits that are coming right now. So we keep them in mind, and definitely, as you all know, that we can't implement it right away. We keep them in mind, and when we have a chance, we evaluate it and then try to address that concerns that we receive.
Priyanka, you want to add here? What are some of the metrics that you are tracking?
Yeah. So we take both qualitative and quantitative approach. So we track the utilization, we track the relevancy, we track the employee engagement score for any kind of benefit that we provide. So basically, we try to understand, how satisfied are you with the benefit itself. Then comes how satisfied are you with the provider. Do you see a value add in what we are providing? And then the list of benefits that we have, we ask the employees to rate or rank in what is more important to them, so we take it in that order. So based on that survey and feedback that we get, we prioritize where is the pain point, where we'll have to address next, what is that we will have to definitely consider improving. And the challenge here is, what happens is once they given the feedback, they expect the changes to happen immediately, right? And everything to happen. But that's not the reality and that's not the case. So we'll also have to analyze the benchmarking data, evaluate what we have versus the budget. We have so many other constraints. So we collectively take all of this into consideration before implementing something. So we try to do a pilot and see how it's working for us when it is a new benefit, especially. We try to do a pilot. We see the kind of response, the attendance, a complete analysis, the turnaround rate, is there a productivity increase? Is there a change that is this particular benefit is made to an employee's lifestyle? So we try to metric all of these by conducting surveys, feedbacks, tracking down the absenteeism or attendance that each one of them try to participate in all of the benefit activities that we try to do. Based on that, we take a decision collectively, and like I said, it's more like, once you send out a survey, employees always have this very generic thought, right? Like that happens with us also. I have spoken about one particular benefit. I felt that was missing, and this should be addressed at least by the next year. But that doesn't happen that way. There are a lot of other things we will also have to consider. So we do that. We look at the surveys, we look at the qualitative, quantitative approach. We also rely sometimes upon the benchmarking, but not purely or completely on that. But we also go with the request that we get from our employees on need basis, and then see what improvements or enhancements that can be done over a period of time, but not immediately, but we try to analyze the data, considering what has worked in other organization, and get some feedback on that as well, and then slowly try to implement it. And that's where an expert opinion plays a very, very vital role. We try to get the expert opinion. So if you're trying to go with a provider, we ask them, so how many of the other companies in the similar line of business have had this problem? So this expert person will already have an experience. They would have been an XYZ company who would have come with a very similar request, and we would try to understand from them, did it work there and how well did it work there, or didn't if it didn't work, then what is the reason it didn't work. So we try to address those gap and then bridge up and then try to implement something better or more specific to our organization need.
All right, Archana, you want to add your metrics at free charge?
Yeah, sure. I'll quickly add it. I'll not elaborate it a bit. So it's more or less, as far as the matrices are concerned, are more or less same as Priyanka mentioned. That we also have a few surveys in place, wherein we conduct the direct feedback on the specific benefit. So there is a benefit specific survey which is there in the organization. Biannually, we take the feedback from individuals, from employees on those particular benefits, and that's a clear cut picture which we get whether that particular initiative or the benefits is working out well within the organization or not. And the second
Yeah.
piece we take into consideration is about the
Oh,
utilization,
okay.
which utilization report we can directly get it from the vendor, right? So if there is a daycare benefit there in the organization, we check with the vendor and we see that how many employees, what is the percentage of employees those who are utilizing that benefit. Same goes for gym membership and other benefits which are there in the organization. So I think if you're, getting the employee feedback on each benefit which you have within the organization, and at the same time you are tallying that response with the utilization report which you get from your vendor, it gives you the clear cut picture whether that particular initiative or the benefits is working out well for you or not.
Aditya, that brings me to the question that if my benefits package or an employee package knows that I'm stressed through a wearable or through an app, and my employer has been tracking uh, my metric, where is the line between being helpful and then crossing the line between being too helpful or being too personal? uh, Also, a challenge that also the HRs must be expressing to you when they are trying to add more benefits or increase the existing benefit. uh, what has been your experience
Approach.
tackling
Yeah.
tackling that
Yeah,
challenge?
so we definitely have seen a whole spectrum. Um, we've seen some we've seen some HRs who want to know about individual mental wellness sessions that have been attended or used by employees. And we have to tell them, sorry, we can't really share that information with you because it's obviously very sensitive. So there is a bit of a tricky tight walk there, right? Rope walk there. I think having a credible partner who can act as the right buffer to aggregate things or to distribute messages is obviously important, or technology which can like nudge people so that it's not very intrusive. Uh, but but since you kind of pointed out about the spectrum of measurement at an individual versus non-individual level, I would definitely add to what Priyanka, Archana, and Purnima said. What we are seeing is that the next step probably that's going to happen in a big way after measuring adoption is going to be measuring some population level metrics. So some sort of aggregate reporting of the organization on either overall health risks or heart health or some strong metrics, aggregate metrics that help understand risk in conjunction with absenteeism or productivity loss is probably the way to go. I don't think at an individual level the employer pers intervening at an individual level, it has to be very carefully thought out. Ideally, it's a system or an app or a technology which does that for the employer rather than employer personally getting involved, because I think then it starts becoming a bit tricky on where the employer is crossing the line, and I would imagine it would be less acceptable.
So you now spoke about the futuristic approach that a lot of companies would want to take. I would like to now open the floor to questions and ask our audience if they have any question. Please feel free to unmute yourselves or type in the question on the chat, and we want to take in some questions, and then we just end with your approach to how you look at the future of employee well-being. Are you hearing some new tools coming in the market or new wellness partners coming in the market that have approached you or that you have approached to inculcate in your current workforce and organization? So while we open the floor to questions, does anyone have a question right now? We'll just wait for a minute if anyone has a question and would like to ask.
So why don't we give people a minute or so to type in questions into the chat, Nikasha?
Sure.
In the meantime, I can definitely share. We talk to many vendors every month in
Hmm.
the whole space of benefits and wellness. So I can definitely share a few trends I'm observing. I'm seeing a trend, what I call the measured self, longevity apps, logging apps, CGMs, right? Even health checkups. These things are coming together into systems which are providing advice to employees or individuals really, right? What to do day to day, how much to sleep, how much to exercise. Obviously, there's Apple Health, Samsung Health, etc., consumer solutions, but there are also advanced solutions specifically targeting, metabolic health, cardiac health, obesity, etc. So that's one big set of solutions that we are seeing in the market, both for consumers, but they're expensive, and so many of them are trying to get employers also interested in investing in employee health using solutions like these. We're definitely seeing a big trend in that direction. um, I would say the second sort of trend around new benefits that is definitely coming up is sort of expanding into more unconventional sort of benefit spaces. uh, so niche, corner cases. So there are startups who are really focusing on parents mental health, and they are providing support for remote parents mental health. There are startups really just focused on SOS. So what happens in the first 5 minutes, how quickly can you get an ambulance to an employee? There is, startup we recently spoke to focusing on longevity and sort of providing supplementation advice. So this space is like, I guess it always has been, but the science around wellness is throwing up so many insights, and people are now using technology very quickly to convert it into solutions, and integrated solutions at that. So I'm like personally seeing a lot of focus there, and definitely on risk assessment and measurement at an organization level, right? Few themes around new benefit areas that we're definitely observing. Um, yeah, in the meantime, I don't think we are seeing any questions on
I
chat.
don't see any question. But yeah,
And maybe I have a question. Maybe Aditya, if you could kind of help me with that. Just wanted to know from the experience, because you come from an expert opinion, right, background. So do you also kind of get asked more on holistic well-being focused programs, which involves mental wellness, physical wellness, and also financial wellness these days?
That's an interesting area you brought up. We do get questions, maybe 5% of the companies we speak to who are specifically checking about financial wellness.
Financial. Okay.
Typically around, yeah, around financial coaching. Like we have a partner called Salt, which provides it, and similar kind of sessions with experts. We're our own experience of the space is we found it hard to find like very credible solutions which are not actually just trying to be wealth managers or investment advisors, and the business model there works a little bit differently. True financial literacy, basics around saving, not over relying on credit or overextending yourself. Still not seeing a lot of solutions around it, but we do get asked, and yeah, I think it is one of the areas which a certain segment of Gen Zs are definitely passionate about. Like the fire community is really big, saying, I want to retire at 40, make me 50.
Absolutely. I think that's where I'm coming from. So this particularly comes from the segment of Gen Zs,
Yeah.
where they are more interested and to be in a very good financial position. So when I say very good financial position, it is not about your spending, investing. It is about saving and how do I retire soon as possible. But thank you so much for sharing your insight on that.
Actually, we have a very interesting question, which I would, request either Priyanka Archana or Purnima to take up. If you've seen the chat, how can we open up to employees, especially women employees, about day-to-day health problems and solutions? It can be very touchy or a sensitive area, and like, please share your experiences. I think everyone would benefit from that if you found approaches that work.
So as I was mentioning sometime back during the conversation, finding out the right allies is one of the key factors where you address these sort of concerns, right? So definitely reaching out to women and asking about or checking about their health on a day-to-day basis is literally a tough task and a sensitive thing as well, right? So finding out the LAs, I think Archana was mentioning it some time back as well, right? So they even do a certification program and identify people who can be a person who help the people or the employees identify and address their concerns. So allies in this area really play a important role. Rather than you get the technology in, see, technology will play its own role, but not really. Technology will come and ask you what is happening with you, Purnima, and then you would be comfortable answering that question, right? So here, in where the allies can get in touch, understand what is happening. So for me, I think definitely identifying the allies is the most important factor in this. Then definitely that relation maintenance with the employee and so would help in addressing such issues.
I just added to it, and the sensitization of reporting managers becomes also very crucial, because when it comes to a specific woman needs with respect to their health, if the reporting manager, who's a male member, is not able to understand what woman specific problems could be, right? So that sensitization becomes very important, and that actually helps in solving half of the problem with respect to women employees with respect to their health. And obviously you can think about having health checkups specific to women, wherein few specific checks which are women specific can be included. That is another way of solving for this.
That reminds me, HPV vaccination is one of those niche solutions that is becoming,
Yes,
awareness
yes.
is really going up and like very, very popular. Um, cool. Thanks, Archana. I think we have one more question. Maybe we can take another minute or two from our audience if people have the time. I see the question around an unconventional habit that you've seen that really improves well-being with work. So I'll save mine at the end. Let's do a quick fire one. What's top of mind? What have you seen that can really help, Priyanka?
I can take that up. So what I have observed, and also we try to implement this, is one is micro meditation. So employees don't have that time to sit for 20-30 minute session of meditation. So what we try is a quick 2-3 minutes of silence in their own desk. Put everything aside, especially your gadgets, your phone, your laptop, your anything which buzzes off, right? So they just try to keep everything aside, relax, create some time to focus on what you want to do next. And that will definitely bring down your stress level as well, and then improve the quality of your attention. The attention span also increases and you stay more focused. So we've tried this and it did work, but yes, taking that time off again, 2-3 minutes on a daily basis or whenever you need, just give that break and make sure you focus more on complete silence, and then focusing on whatever is your priority is much, much needed.
Purnima,
Purna,
you
have
want
you
to?
seen any unconventional unlock or Archana?
So at our organization, what we tried implementing is probably kind of activity based sessions. So where we engage employees, make people gather, leave, as rightly said, as Priyanka rightly said, leave all the gadgets aside, leave all the phones aside, just spend time within your team, understand each other, probably you speak with each other, and more into some fun activities, makes you open up and relaxes you from all the stress at a point of time.
That's great to hear. We are taking a very similar approach. We have like a sport weekend, like the company blocks out some
Right.
sports and people turn up, socialize. It's a very relaxed thing. It's not
So
the
though
pressure. Well, it's
the
good.
thing is, though most of the organizations now provide this sports zone or a play zone, lot of people in the organization doesn't go and use it. But now we have introduced this, made people like okay, work will be there 24/7. Now you do complete your work, the other comes up, right? So take your time for yourself during your lunch or your childhood break or something. Just go, use the place, spend time with people, and so you also get the mental stress out.
I'll just add one activity. So desk yoga is something which worked really well in my organization, and it's liked by most of the employees, in fact, including senior leadership. So whenever we have desk yoga sessions in place, in entire organization, approximately 90% folks they participate, and we receive very, very good feedback about it.
Just wanted to add here, we recently did a mandala art session for one of our clients, and I noticed, I was part of the company there, and I noticed that people from different teams were coming together and they were doing and creating the mandala art. And one of the feedback that I got from some conversations was that I really didn't know this person before, and this is the first time that I'm interacting with this person, and this session is really helping me, and we've become friends now. And I actually got this feedback from the CTO of the company, who was meeting somebody from the marketing team, and he'd never met them before. So yeah, this was some of the experience that I could see from one of our clients.
Yeah, I
So
think that's a win-win situation. You also connect, you also know the person, and you also burst your stress out.
So that's exactly what this artwork or any, activity makes people engage. That was really good idea. I felt in the beginning. So initial days, I felt it's a challenge to get people in the boat. But later, when people started doing it, they're like, okay, now you announce something, all of them are at the place.
yeah.
They fight for the place, or they have to struggle finding the place to get in that activities.
Yeah, people are mostly shy when they have to move around or they have to
True.
dance or do a
Someone should start, then
yeah.
they go join in.
Yeah, something that can be done at the desk with different people could be something that a lot of companies can experiment with.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for this wonderful conversation today. I hope you all learned a lot. We've already recorded this session. I'm going to upload the recording and share a quick summary of the session within 24 hours with all of you. Special thank you to Archana, Priyanka, Purnima, and Aditya for spending the time with us. And yeah, thank you everybody, and stay tuned and have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Archana. Thanks, Purna.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for
Thanks.
organizing this. Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.